All right, everybody. I think it's 6 p.m., so the live just started. I just click on the button, and I guess the live started. So, if some of you are already connected, can you tell me if you hear me? If the picture is okay, if sound is okay? So the live just started. I just click on the button. Mm, We're going to wait like 2 or 3 minutes to really start diving in the subjects I prepared for you today, to see if there are people that still are going to come joining us. I don't know if I can see how many people are in the chat room looking in the live right now. Pop, pop, pop. Can you tell me in the chat if some of you are already connected, if you hear me well, if sound is okay, if picture is okay? I'm recording with my iPhone actually, so that's why it's a bit on the top, and I'm looking down in my computer right now, so that's why I'm not looking at the camera. Sometimes I will look at both. Okay. Okay. I don't know if many of you are already connected, but we're going to start. I see one person that's connected. That's good. We have to start somewhere, so we're going. Oh, two now. So okay, great. Don't hesitate to tell me in the comment, guys, in the comment section, if you hear me well, if everything is okay on your end, picture, sound. Tell me. So like that, we'll start off right now. All right. So today I selected three subjects. If you saw the miniature, the I choose to speak about mental in combat sports. I choose to speak about confidence. I had someone asking me how you can be more confident in combat when you step on the mat. So this is really, I guess, something that many fighters, many competitors, beginners, or even more advanced face before going for a fight. So that's what we will be discussing today. And in last, I had someone asking me to talk about technique and how you can improve your technique. So even though this is not a live course, I will try to give you some insight on how to improve your technique, how you can improve your technique through Kihon and Kata. As we do martial arts, there is all this part that is really important. And I always tell my students when I teach them Kata and Kihon that they should um, transition from this to real fighting. That's why they should really focus their energy on sparring and Kion. So okay, I see people. Someone says he created a channel to comment, so that's great. Donc je vois que tu m'as répondu en français et voilà, le live sera en anglais. Mais de temps en temps, voilà, s'il y a des choses qui doivent être dites en français pour une meilleure compréhension, s'il y a beaucoup de personnes qui me regardent en français, ben, je leur dirai en français. Voilà, je vais essayer de faire ça en anglais majoritairement, mais voilà, s'il faut apporter des petites précisions pour l'une ou l'autre chose, je reviendrai au français, ça marche. Comme ça, j'essaierai vraiment de contenter tout le monde. Like I said, we're going to talk about mental, give a brief definition of what it is, and confidence, which can be related to mental. And last, we'll talk about techniques. Of course, if you have any questions about these topics while I'm talking, don't hesitate to write it in the chat, and I will try to do my best to answer. So, I selected mental because I really faced some challenges during this season. I stepped on the mat like 4 times this year, I think 4 times, and two of my fights didn't happen as I expected it because my mental wasn't there. My mental wasn't there enough, so I really faced difficulties in these fights. First was in the I have the T-shirt BKC 24. It was in Belgium, so not far from here. It was an only adult competition. So what I like is that I had time to really come at my ease. The morning I didn't have to get up very early like I do in competitions where you have children, teenagers, adults, beginners, more advanced. It was a really nice organization. That was my first really advanced competition with only almost only high levels. So it was a really good experience. Uh, the the ambiance, the the feeling when you enter this kind of tournament is really not the same. You have of course way less competitors than when you go in a regular tournament. So you know that you only have the top of each country. It was a Western European tournament, but still European, with only competitors from Spain, Italy, Great Britain, France, Belgium, of course, Holland, so the Netherlands too. We had German people, I think, and we also even had a great fighter, Gregor Kiedzielski from Poland, which finished first at that tournament. So when you enter this kind of tournament, it's really something different. It's really a different feeling you have. So for this kind of tournament, I was preparing myself really well, um, mentally and physically. I really did my part to really train mentally and physically. So physically, there's not much I could have done more because I was going to the gym. I was training with my students. I had one student that participated in this tournament too, and I got sick 2 days before the fight, and then it played on my mental. It played on my mental because I was like, that was the tournament I was expecting the most this season. I was waiting for it. I was preparing for it. I was really doing my part, and then I get sick. Okay, but that's something I could manage because it was like another big sickness, like a small flu or something. I was on coughing a little bit. My nose was I had to blow my nose from time to time. And one day before the fight, we were registered on Kumite Technology, so it's a website that registers fighters when there is a high level competition. As it was my first. You have the possibility to look at the draw. So I was going on the draw and seeing people that were in my category. I was going through the list, and I saw so all the fighters. I was going to check them out a little bit, see who they are, and the day before they do the draw, so they select who is going to fight who the day before, and I see that I'm going to fight a heavy a tough opponent from England, and my mental is like going a bit crazy because I'm like, oh, this guy is strong, and this is going to really to be a real problem, is going to be a real problem, and I'm going to face a real challenge, and anyone else could have been okay if I did them in the first round, but then okay, this happened, and plus I was sick, and the day happens when I go in the tournament, and I cannot give energy in warm up. I'm like going in the heavy bag. They had these heavy bags. I was with some friends. I was like, I don't have energy. I don't know what's happening. I cannot activate my muscles. It's like you're so tired you cannot even run to catch the bus or something. I don't know, and I lost the fight. I lost the fight, even though I did a good. I did a good fight. I think I even gave him his most difficult fight. After 1 minute or 1 minute and 20 seconds, I rhythm dropped down, and I'm like, it's strong. It was not stronger than me in terms of power or technique or a punch. It just hit very well. It just hit me very well. Um, but cardio is lacking 40 seconds before the end, and I'm like dropping rhythm, and it's still going, and it's still going, and it touches me once in the solar plexus, and there's like this reaction in my mind saying I give up. And when you see the fight, I uploaded it on Facebook. You see that I'm not completely down, meaning that I could have resisted better this hit. I really could have resisted better this hit to stay up. I could have stayed up afterwards. I'm telling myself, but this is the kind of hit you can resist. Really, it's not like when you take a low kick and that you fall because your leg is just not responding anymore. It's not even about the pain. Sometimes it's just the brain cannot connect, with the leg. So you're like, she's missing. It's missing. No, it's still there, but you don't have control over it. This kind of pain, you feel it, but sometimes you're not KO. You're not KO'd by the opponent. So you need to go on at that particular moment. You need to go on, and so it puts me on the one, and I go out on Ippon. So he did two Wazari, and he went the distance with an Ippon, finishing the fight maybe 10 seconds before the end. Um, and I did the exact same thing 1 week ago against a friend because there was a competition that was organized in Brussels instead of a one that had been cancelled before. So I go to fight a friend of mine that I never fought before. Is 10 kilos heavier than me, but I had this exact same reaction, and I lost the fight at the end with a punch to the solar plexus. I know it's my weak point apparently, and I dropped down. I just completely dropped down from the fight. So I feel that it hit me. It was not something I'm going to say like calculated, like it was not something particularly out of the ordinary. It's like, sometimes you take a quick shot, you feel it, you have to resist. And only 1 second was remaining. If I had stayed up, we would have gone for probably another round. But the same thing happened before the fight. I was not in the. I didn't have energy. I couldn't tense my muscles, and so that's that's when I really realized that mental is a key element. We know mental from so many different aspects. We know mental is important in fighting. We know mental, like don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Yeah, yeah, go, 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 go. We all have this. We all have this because we do Kyokushin karate, we do combat sports. We know we have to go. We know it, but being able to apply it in some context such as competition is something else entirely. It's really different. It's really different because you need preparation. You prepare physically, so sometimes you cannot do better than that, but you have to try and prepare yourself mentally. It's not only about once I'm on the mat, I give my best. It's also about what's before the fight, and sometimes even weeks, even months, weeks, and days before, even minutes and hours. Mental can be defined as conscious and unconscious processes. So both are related, both can interact with each other. So that's what we think about. That's what we think about on the surface. They often represent the mind as an iceberg. So you have the emerge part and the part underwater. The part underwater is bigger, way bigger, as far four out of five parts that represent the mind. So one fifth is emerge. So there's this conscious processes that are what we tell ourselves on a daily basis. We say words in our heads, so that's what we tell, and the unconscious processes that really are under the surface that you don't always know they are here. But if the conscious part takes the conscious part takes some of its core from the unconscious part. So we have to work on really what's inside, what we tell ourselves from the conscious part to influence the unconscious part too. I was telling you that I was sick before a fight. I was telling you that I saw my opponent. It was this. It was that. Like I almost was forgetting what I was capable of that day because I still gave him a hell of a fight. He finished first of the category, of course, but he also just put the others he his others adversaries KO within maybe 1 minute or maybe 50 seconds for the second one. I don't know, but I was the fight that lasted the longest, and I wasn't in the top of my shape mentally on that day. So I was really okay. Mental is important on that part. I guess if my mental was better off that day, I would have been able to at least sustain the second round, and maybe I think it would have won the second round, maybe through cardio or through maybe one technique that could have surprised me. But I know I could have done better, and that's why sometimes it's frustrating because you go in a fight. If you, I always say there's good losses and sometimes bad wins. You can lose a fight good because you're not KO. Your opponent did not do much better than you. It's not like a bad loss when you got KO by someone, completely knocked out and overwhelmed and stuff. So that's what mentor is all about. I took some notes, so I'm going to read it so I can really bring you what inside I took from this fight. And to come back to tournaments, because that's what I wanted to talk about, tournament mentor in tournament. After the fight at the BKC 24, the next week I was fighting in a regional tournament. So it was Belgium tournament. I fought three people, which I beat all of them. I fought them in a row. First fight I put my opponent KO. I I fought a second one without even waiting for 30 seconds, and I fought the third one without waiting for more than 1 minute. They just gave me 1 minute to drink and breathe. But we worked in pool because we were not that many, sorry, in this tournament. So they put us in in the in the same pool to fight each other. And as my first opponent was KO, I had to fight both of the second opponents right after. But this day, what I noticed from the previous tournament that was just the week before is that I was completely good. I mean, I was the tournament started at 8 p.m. 8 a.m. Sorry, I had to get up at 6 a.m. I only fought at 6 p.m. So waiting like almost 12 hours to fight on this tournament. I was wandering here and there, eating, relaxing. I think I almost even didn't watch a single fight. But this day, when I warmed up in the heavy bag, I was so good. I was feeling so good. I was like totally fine. My muscles had tension. Even though I lost the week before, I knew that I was there to win this one, and I did. So really, from a tournament, of course, opponents and levels were not the same, but it's not only about that. It's really about your mindset before the fight. I could have been telling myself that I was sick for this tournament too, and be like, I know I'm not feeling it well, and lose against people. Maybe I had a better level. I had higher skills compared to them. So I'm going to read the questions. How do you plan to prepare mentally for the next championship? That's a really good question. I think there are many things involved in my future preparation. First, I have to be focused on my objective. When I was younger, I fought only to know what I was worth, what I had, what I was worth as a Kyokushin practitioner in general. Now with a black belt, my goals are different. I want to do the highest levels possible. I want to fight at the highest level possible. So I will train mentally by really trying to visualize myself in a fight, being able to win. So we have to distinguish the possibility of winning or losing, but seeing in our mind, watching watching ourselves fight. So really picturing ourselves in a fight and being strong, putting someone KO, resisting hits. So sometimes when I tell my students, when you do shadow boxing, for example, to warm up, see your eyes. Your eyes, they have to be like that. You're just shadowing. No one is in front of you. It's warm up time, but I'm just putting myself in a real fight situation as I was in the fight, as if I was going to fight someone, and put yourself in the fight situations. So that is one way I plan um, to train. That's one way I plan to improve my mental for future championships. Visualization is a must. Then you have simply training mentally through physical training. You will have these trainings, and when sometimes you do cardio in the bag, or I don't know, with a partner, I don't know, telling yourself to push a bit harder, a bit more, a bit further. It's the same in a fight. I was telling you that I lost a fight at the last second. At the very last second, I dropped down from the fight. That was going to be Hikiwake. This fight was going to be Hikiwake. And I dropped down at the very last second. There was a timer on the left. I didn't check it, but you see, I saw that there was the last second. This was the last second, and I dropped down on this second, and I felt, even though I was being defensive at that moment, I felt that I could have resisted. But my mind, it says like something like that. I don't want to tell myself. It says like give up. It says like give up. Okay, forget it. This fight is not for you, and it could have been in the end. So another way is really to train through physical training. Put yourself in some not uncomfortable zone. I think for myself, I stay too much in my comfort zone. even in sparring. Sometimes we should let ourselves be hit. That's something I applied a lot when I was younger because I had really trouble taking hits. Sometimes just let yourself be hit as much as possible, as strong as possible by someone more more beginner or even a kid with experience that can hit you hard. You let yourself, you do yourself violence. We say that in French. You do violence to yourself. So that's another way. Really train mentally through physical training. I wanted to learn how to roundhouse kick with perfect technique. Oh, this is someone that asked me to do a small resume on how to improve techniques. Trizy Kyo, I will discuss that at the end of the video, at the end of the live. We're now in the mental section, but I will come back to techniques. I think that's you who asked me on YouTube how you could improve technique. That's a point that we're going to discuss today. So stay until the end. Don't worry, I've got everything covered. Uh, I'm very disappointed when I see Kyokushin fights with gloves, shin guards. As a D1 heavyweight competitor myself, I think it's very demotivating. What's your point on that? Yeah, um, we do Kyokushin. We know it's hard. People on the mat would both agree that we should fight without shin guards. Personally, I don't think that I have strong shin bones, but still, when I have shin pads, I really don't have the feeling that I can hurt my opponent. That's really funny because okay, in the same time I don't hurt myself, but in the same time this is really something that I don't see the point because you really cannot hurt yourself that much with the shin bones. You don't wear a helmet, but you could take a KO. You don't wear a plate to protect your ribs or core, but you could break bones easily there too. But they ask you to wear shin guards. That's something really I don't know. I find it strange. I had heard that sometime that they needed people to wear shin guards now because of insurance stuff. But in Belgium that was something that went in Belgium law or something, I don't know. And now I fought this tournament in Hoylach, Belgium, the BKC tournament 24. We didn't wear shin guards. So I don't know if this law is true. This is something true. Um, uh, I don't know why they keep asking us that. If some tournaments you cannot wear them and some you have to wear them. That's something really weird that I haven't figured out myself. I would understand maybe for veterans or people with beginner levels or even children for that matter. But for adults, D1 that have some potential, that have some level, I don't know why they would ask us to do that. Plus we lose a lot of sensation. We lose a lot of sensation, and we are getting comfortable with this. So I hope that answers your question. Um, but like these all big tournaments, I don't know why they ask people to wear shin guards, and I wasn't asked to wear them in the European tournament, which was still happening in Belgium. So I'm a fan of shin guards when it's to spar 100 times a day or three times a week. But it's true that when we do Kyokushin, you want this bare sensation of bare shin when you want to hit your opponent, as well as taking the hits. Okay, shin pads I guess protect shins. Yeah, they do, but still we do Kyokushin, and Kyokushin is supposed to be bare, bare everything. This is a small detail, of course, but I don't wear a mouth guard, for example. I don't like it. This is a risk, but we are supposed to be like almost in a street fight, and I tend to come with my dogi, my fists, and my shins. This is my opinion on the subject, but for adults and high level competitors, of course, maybe not for children and veterans or white belts, maybe orange bells beginners. Um, so really that was it about mental. I took some of the notes. You we need to train also to um, to 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 get more confident. I guess an essential point in combat in when you want to step on the mat is to get more confident. So confidence is the second point. Um, we have to be aware of what we can do. We can fight someone sometimes heavier than me. I had the case the last week. I fought someone heavier than me. Someone it was a black belt. It was someone. He finished first in the competition that we fought together in where I fought three people in a row. So he finished first in in this category because it was 10 kilos heavier than me. So we finished first. I finished first in my own category. But when I fought him, the match was equal. The match was equal. So in terms of competence, in terms of skills, we were definitely a match. We were definitely a match. In terms of technique, maybe I had a bit the advantage. I used the heels, I used knees. I heard him at some point of the fight. It was like not good, but came back directly. Totally the opposite of what I did and what I should have done. So that's really something I said. Okay, my opponent, he did exactly what I should have done, meaning staying focused. Even if he was in pain, he did like this face for a brief second, and as soon as I saw it, I wanted to go. I wanted to hurt him again. It was already back. I didn't have even have the time to pursue on my to pursue on with the knees. So that's that. Thanks, Hero. Thank you. To continue on the mental preparation part for the fight, what can you do to get prepared for the bestial part of full contact fights? And there I mean, then you mean I guess by bestial the physical part, taking hits. I guess it goes through conditioning. I talked about it a bit just before. It goes through conditioning. You have to condition yourself as much as you can to get used to take hits. So sometimes I tell my students we will work I don't know, once just someone is working maybe 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute, sometimes until failure. With different paces, with different timers, you can work on different paces and rhythms. Sometimes I say until failure. I say I have to make two hits, and the person of you in front of you is KO. But you don't have to make 1,000, because if I do this, I can make 1,000, a million. I don't feel anything. So you can start going 50, 60%, then you go after maybe 10, 20 hits, 80, and then you go 90, 95, even 100% if your partner can sustain it. Then you can work on timers, 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever. You can work on timers with timers going ba 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 bam, and when there's like 5, 10 seconds remaining, ba ba bam, you give like 100%, and then you're going to feel the pain, and you have to try to resist. If you can, that's good, because this is the real situation that you will face in a fight, and so mentally it will help you sustain real hits in a fight of someone you don't know, who won't control them. So that's a way of training for the bestial part that you told me, the Nicholas. So don't hesitate to push us to. I always say we can train physically. We can train mental through physical training, and we can train physical training through mental. Both, I think, are connected. So really, we can, like I said before, visualize, do all these mental exercises, be confident about our technique, and put yourself put our mind on the fight. If we do shadow boxing for a cardio or even warm up, but then we have to be able to improve ourselves mentally through the physical part. You see what I mean? Um, okay, this was really about the mental part. We're now going to jump on the confidence part. Confidence, of course is like an extension of the mental part in combat. So confidence should be more about trusting yourself really than like mental can be like seen as this big process like I told you in conscious part. Confidence is more about trusting yourself, trusting your abilities, knowing what are your weak points, your the things that you have to work on, but also what you do good, what you do well. And I guess for that you should always keep a track of your evolution, keep a track of your last successes or failures. I think I started Kyokushin in 2008. I started competition in 2000 maybe 10, so only 1 year or 2 years, maybe 2 years after I started Kyokushin, I went on the mat. I always filmed my fights. I always had someone filming my fights because one it's a memory that will never be forgotten. Uh, Two, it really helped me see what I have to work on, but also what I was good at. So this is something I would advise people is film if you fight, film your fight. It could be inspiring. If you do sparring, film your sparring. Some from time to time, once a month, once out of 2 months, you film a good sparring. One that would be a good one to see. I have to work on that. I have to work on that. A sparring that would be in almost in competition conditions, in real fight condition. So you really can see what you have to improve, but also what are your forces, your good points. Um, so it's really about trusting yourself on the mat. Like I told you, I fought a guy who had who came from Britain. I had checked one of his posts on Instagram. I saw that he had like these I don't know 10 trophies over only one season. I think I have only I maybe have 10 trophies from all my career in competition. So it's like a big difference, but still, I should have been more confident about my skills because it was not that stronger than me. At the end, it was coming to me, but we were a match physically. We were totally a match, and it's something good that I should have known. I should have been like sure of it, no doubt, and um, and that's it. So really trust yourself. Always come back to your victories, your losses. Your losses, you have to take lessons from it. So for example, I took three three punches to the solar plexus. In my mind now, it has to be like this doesn't have to happen anymore ever. So I have to train. Sometimes I tell my students, don't hit that part because it's painful. Yeah, but once on the tatami, uh, if the opponent wants to hit there, what would stop him? So I know I have to focus on that, and I'll be more confident because frankly I've lost 3 fights out of maybe 7 8, 3 fights, uh, and they were all with solar plexus hits. So I'm saying if I even with a tougher and heavier opponent. So I'm saying in my mind, if I don't have this weak point, I'm going to be the most confident guy on the mat in my category. You see my point is I mean if I work on this, of course the rest too. What will stop me? It's not that I won't face someone way stronger than me, but what will stop me once I have corrected this weak point? So really work on your weak points, and you'll be more confident. Definitely. How can we overcome fear before fight? And that's a good question. Maybe you asked me that on the comments somewhere. There's no magic answer. I'd say the more you fight, the more fear won't become a problem. I often tell this story of me who fought my first competition, my second competition actually, but I had like only one fight before, so sorry, I won't even count it. I had one fight before this competition. So my second competition, I fought two brown belts. I fought one brown belt. I was 16, so under 18. I fought one brown belt with protections, so not even helmets. We didn't have helmets at this time, but I had gloves and shin pads. And I lost the fight with a liver shot. Second fight, they tell me that I have to take off my gear. I cannot go on the mat with gloves and shin pads. So I tell my coach that in my mind I was like, no, this cannot happen. I will his shins are going to be like blades. His punches are going to be like bricks. In my mind, I was almost going to die. You see, and my coach, I tell my coach to give up for me on the mat, and they say that if I want to give up, I have to go give up myself on the mat. I was not injured, not that much. Like I take a little shot, so I was fine. I was not injured, and my pride took over, and I decided to do the fight. I lost with a spinning hook kick to the head, back of the head. So I fell, and I was like for 5 seconds, lights were out. But that day, this fear of almost dying transformed itself in in something that really drove me to do more competitions. Maybe if that day I didn't do this competition, I would have regretted it because I wouldn't have known that I was able, even though I lost, to sustain real hits thanks to adrenaline, thanks to the small training that I had for 2 years. I was fighting someone out of Paris, France, brown belt, so maybe he had a 10 years experience, I don't know. But I was so glad that I overcame my fear, and I haven't been afraid anymore once. So I can maybe I have been mentally not prepared, and but I haven't felt fear. I felt stress throughout my all my future competitions. I felt stressed. I felt apprehension, but I didn't feel fear. I didn't have this feeling to quit and to give up. So I think that's something very important. Is the more you fight, the less you will be afraid. The less your fear will be present and will be dominating. Because I think in some way we're all afraid. Even maybe champions, they say they have other things to fear, such as I don't know. Um, People watch me. I have a dojo. I don't want to disappoint. And when you fight as a beginner, you don't have all that with you. Maybe the look of people that you don't know, but it's not that overwhelming. So I think we always have fear. We always have fear in our mind, but we don't let it overcome ourselves. So the more you fight, the more your fear will disappear. Um, and the more you have to spar. I think sparring is the if there was something to absolutely do every time for to go on the mat, is sparring. You can work in the gym, you can, but this won't make you feel the conditions that you will face in combat in competition. So sparring is something so important. So don't neglect it. Do it as much as you can. Change rhythm. Sometimes you can do light sparring, but if you want to go to competition, like I said, you have to put yourself out of your comfort zone. The more you will be in stress in combat sparring, controlled, it's still controlled. It can be hard sparring, but it's still controlled. The more you will be stressed in combat in the dojo, the more you will be able to handle fear. I hope I answered your question. So think about sparring, and think about doing fights, doing fights. Okay, so to get back to confidence, also when you fight, uh, I guess you should count on people that are there for you. Your coach, your sensei, your loved ones. Maybe they will come see you. They will come see you. Know that you're never alone in a fight. You're alone on the mat, but you're not alone in a fight. Um, I love combat because everything relies on you once you fight, whether you get KO, whether you win, whether it's if you win, that's because of you. If you lose, that's because of you. Simply. But you're not alone. You have people behind you. You have people looking at you, filming you, trying to encourage you when you go to training, etc. So you have to be really careful about that. Think about what people bring you. Think about what people bring you during a fight. Spar a lot, especially that's good. If you have any questions about confidence and mental while we're at it, we're already at 45 minutes live, so don't hesitate to ask me in the comments if you have questions or points that are related to the subjects that I discussed with you. I will wait one minute so you can write down your questions. Okay, Reman says, Senpai, sparring means to practice your techniques. Um, can you elaborate a little bit on what you mean? Sparring, it means because you can spar light. I always tell people don't always spar hard because when you spar hard, you cannot be focused on technique. So sometimes you should focus on light sparring. It can be quick, it can be but more relaxed, but no really tensed. And when you do that kind of stuff, you will be more focused on technique. So sometimes I tell my students, do light sparring, do soft sparring, and you'll be able to you see, bam, focus on techniques, be able to anticipate what you want to do the second or 2 seconds or 3 seconds after, because fighting is not a chess game like a BJJ. It's more like a tennis match where everything goes fast. So sometimes if the opponent is throwing the ball quite slow, you can have time to anticipate. It's like in training, I guess they would do that in tennis. I don't know the first thing about tennis, but if they had to train together, I guess they wouldn't always send the ball so so hard. Do you think comfort, girlfriends, a happy life, etc., can demotivate a fighter? My fuel is my sadness. Whenever I have a girl, I feel way less aggressive. Whew, that's a tough question, and very interesting actually, because fighting is hard. Um, Fighting is hard. Martial arts are hard, and I always say it's not for the faint of heart, for the people who have a life too easy. But life always will have hard and less hard times. When you have a girlfriend, a loved one, your focus, a part of your focus will go on it. I've had a girlfriend for a couple of weeks now, and I can tell you that in my mind sometimes I'm like, am I going to train today or am I going to spend time with her? Although I don't have specific goals right now because the season is almost over. I don't have um, competitions maybe before for like 4 or 5 months. In my mind, there's like this decisions I have to take between going to training and going to see my girlfriend. And I think in life everything is about balance. You have to balance things. If you always want to stay with your girlfriend and one time out of 10 go to training, maybe there's something wrong that you should focus on. Um, if you are able to do your part and go to training and come back, and or just go training and see her after training, uh, this is good. This is balance. Uh, I guess sadness or anger or bad emotions can motivate you to go to training, but I guess it's not that much of a therapy. For myself, I knew difficult times for years. Kyokushin was a constant. Kyokushin was something constant. I went to training. I was going on sparring and in the bag, but I felt like it was not enough. I felt like something should be addressed in private with a therapist or someone, I don't know, whatever. But I felt like it had to be addressed because you have to be, in my opinion, you have to be able to do to train even when you're good, maybe even better when you're good. When you go to hard through hard phases, this might not be the time when you'll be the most productive. Sport will help you forget your problems for a while, but when you don't have problems, you should be even more motivated by it. We're all different, so it's no judgment at all, of course. But when you have a girlfriend, something that should I'm going to say that in my first podcast. You that's weird, but of course you maybe you have intimate relationships which can lower your testosterone levels. And when we do combat sports or any physical activity that require aggressivity, maybe you will have less testosterone because you'll be in this how can it, like paradise mood where everything is good. When you feel good, it's almost the same as you as if you smoked pot. I don't smoke pot, so I wouldn't know, but it's the same idea that when you you have like these dopamine drips because you are with someone good, or you have sex, or you have I don't know, you eat a lot of chocolate or a bad meal, it will drop your testosterone. Sex will drop your testosterone level, but other ones will give you dopamine, and they won't give you the envy to do a hard task. So that's something that you should focus on. It's being balanced. Uh, Girls, I hope for you that you are with the bright one and maybe you marry her. But I know for myself that sometimes I've had different girlfriends over time. Uh, some left, but Kyokushin stayed. So in my mind, the choice I can make the choice quick. Okay, sometimes I won't want to go, so I will stay home with her, but I have to be able to prioritize Kyokushin half of the time, maybe a bit more half of the time, because it's been there for depending on your goals, of course, depending on your goals, on your objectives. Kyokushin was there before your girl, maybe for your case. In my case, that was it, and Kyokushin might be there after. Will probably be there after if breakup there is. But in my dojo, there are some people who got very serious during sparring. What should I do in this situation? Alors, this is a good question. This is really something. This is a good question. You should always tell a person in Kyokushin how you feel. I say to my students, if I go too hard, you have to tell it. You have to tell me. I have a level where I judge that I can judge my levels. I will rephrase it. There is I obtained a level where I know how to I know what level I should work on with somebody, whether she is a girl, a boy, that age or that age, that grade or that grade. I know how I have to be. Some people that don't have my level, and I've been there, so I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I would go too hard on somebody, uh, and I wouldn't even notice because maybe the person was bigger than me, and I was like, I have to hit hard to, but he can hit hard, but maybe he can sustain hits that hard. Sorry, as hard as me. So don't hesitate to tell people in sparring how you feel if you think they're going too hard, if you think they're going too slow. Sometimes people will see that you're a girl and uh, not daring go, and they will go like that. Sometimes you can tell people, no, no, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Depending on your mood, sometimes you want hard sparring, so you can tell the person in front of you that, okay, I won't hit harder, but you can hit me. I want to train. I have to go to this competition, so maybe 90%. Put 90%. let go of everything. Okay. So but if someone is going too hard, you should always tell him or her. And if he doesn't listen, if he doesn't listen, you just put yourself on the side. You say os and put yourself on the side. That happened to me once in MMA. I did MMA for like a year or two. Fortunately, I had I was going already. I did Kyokushin before for like I don't know 12, 13 years. So I knew my way around fighting and sparring. But the person in front of me was boxing, and we're not used to boxing. And plus this day I had like a headache, so I was like, "Can you like slow it down a little bit on boxing?" And it was like keeping and going on, and I was like looking at the teacher, and he said, "Man, like if he wants to go, he wants to go." And I was like, that isn't good because if I was a beginner that day, I can be disgusted. I can say that this is not for me. So this guy, I did a shirogeri because they're not used to. They used to have this guard very high. I did back kick to the liver, and I went to sit, and that's not productive. So after he came to apologize to say, I realized that I went too hard, but you say to someone that they go hard once, twice, it should be enough. Maybe even once should be enough. So communicate, and if the person doesn't want, you don't have to do like me, like put him KO and enter the fight. Just go sit, or tell your sensei. I told him twice to go. Maybe that day you're not in the mood. The person doesn't have to know. You tell him that you don't want to fight hard today. That hard. It's still Kyokushin, so when you go to training, you just bring it up with you, swallow it up a little bit. But if you're not in the mood to go 100% sparring, the person in front of you should adapt. Should adapt. That's my point. Yes, we're on the same page. Kyokushin will never betray you. I guess it won't. I guess it won't. So that's why we're still here. We're still training. I mean, I'm not saying that it's easy. Some people have the opposite reaction. Some people will drop training when they feel bad. But you can feel bad maybe a third, a quarter, half of your life because of situations. If you say I drop on Kyokushin every time you feel bad, you will drop Kyokushin quite a lot. You see, you won't evolve. I've been in classes with severe depression. I spent half my time. This is like extreme situations, but sometimes of course you cannot go if you have someone in your family who died or something like that. You have to take time for yourself, but not going just because things are going bad, you won't go to training a lot. So that's my point. When I hit them with the Mawashigiri, then they got really serious. Yeah. Again, some people sometimes take bad that just being hit. They would like to do, I don't know, Taekwondo or Shotokan, but the I won't say that they're not built for Kyokushin, but they like giving, but they don't like receiving. But it goes with Kyokushin goes with both. So you have to be ready to take hits, and you have to be ready to get not injured, but to feel pain. Sometimes people just cannot stand pain, but will go like 100% on you. So you have a choice. You have two choices. Tell your sensei that you don't want it to get into a brawl, and if you're more experienced, you just make the person understand that if you want to go hard, we can both go. I always tell people in my head, I'm not that I don't have pretension to say I'm stronger, but sometimes in my head I'm like with a beginner, if you go hard, I will go hard, but I just will do it better. See, so that's not the point. I'm always in the way of learning when I spar with someone less experienced, but sometimes just people don't understand, and maybe it will be a good lesson for them. So When a player is non-technical and is not giving a chance to himself, what should I do then? I always tell my students, like, because I'm more of a technician and technical guy than a physical one, that you should be ready physically, no matter what the situation, no matter the situation. When someone is charging you with the blah, 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 you can have strategies in your mind to let him get tired. It's not that easy. It really needs you really need experience to do that. You really just let him get tired. He will get tired, and you will be able to fight. Sometimes you see people going on the mat, 30 seconds, yeah, and you have to go 1 minute and a half. See, so sometimes you let people work, you block, you move, you hit back, boom, maybe you will find a hole, and when the pace is starting to slow down, and then bam 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 you can go. So always remind yourself that at least in a real fight, in a competition fight, the fight is 2 minutes. But even in sparring, if someone decides to go ba 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 bam, you just let him work. Um, in my opinion, Kyokushin is one of the most complete martial arts. Yeah, yeah, it is. But it's one of the most complete martial arts. But it all depends on the way you train. I always say to people, sometimes they would tell me, yeah, but Muay Thai authorizes punches to the head, knees, elbows, clinch. They have other rules than us. But for example, they don't hit with bare hands. So sometimes when a boxer goes out for fighting in the street, it will break his knuckles. So you will see them like this. I cannot fight for 3 weeks. Sorry. See, I had a seminar with people who went like in this trip for improving themselves mentally, physically. Like it was the Warrior Day or something, like the Warrior Weekend or something like that. And that was the last to give them a training. They had MMA, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, Muay Thai, I think, Krav Maga, and another discipline. And I gave them a lesson in Kyokushin that they didn't know. Most of them thought that this was going to be like all relaxed and all relaxed karate. But when they learned Kyokushin, they were like, oh yeah, we learned to hit with our knuckles like this. The That was all the technical part, which we are going to come after. We have this technicality that most of the disciplines don't have. I love Muay Thai. I love MMA. They're both strong. They're both uh, great disciplines. But we have stuff that make us different. We have stuff that makes us different. That makes us unique. But there's not a perfect discipline. Each have that's why I did some Muay Thai for like 4 years, 3 years, 4 years here and there. Not really in a big rhythm, not in a higher pace. I did like maybe once or twice a week here and there. Sometimes stopped for a month because I had still my training to go to attend to. MMA for 1 year, and I can tell you that going in other disciplines just opens your mind. It opens your mind in so many levels. You have a background, you have like a small luggage, but you go in a, in something completely new. So it's really good for the mind. It resets your mind, and you say, "Wow, there's still this whole world: grappling, clinching, elbows, boxing." Blocking with your legs when you take a hit. We don't do that often in Kyokushin because we cannot. So it's really interesting. Okay, in my opinion, Kyokushin was we also have roots with judo. We have roots with so many disciplines. The thing is, how are we going to train today? For myself, for example, I train mainly for competition. So I don't train projections. I don't train grappling. I don't train bunkai. I can show some bunkai in my trainings at my students, but I have like these goals. We cannot be perfect. We have a disciplines that is complete, of course, but we cannot be perfect and be an expert in everything. I guess having good basis in most of uh, the, the most um, the most important disciplines nowadays is good. So Muay Thai, MMA, a bit of grappling, maybe a bit of notions in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is great, but you cannot be a master in Kyokushin, Muay Thai, except if you're a billionaire and that you can pay people to train you 8 hours a day, of course. But this is something. I guess at that point you can just be Batman, right? Just buy yourself a costume, train yourself with experts, and just go on the street and save the orphan and the old lady, as we say in French. Pop, 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 pop. Hello, I can. How can I upgrade my reaction time so I can properly block kicks to the head? Good questions. I will go. I will lead you to my one of my video where I teach a small exercise to help you block kicks. So you can go on my channel and you will have this video called, I guess, how to block kicks, how to block middle and high kicks. So maybe I uploaded like 2 months ago, so it's not that far. You will find at the end of the video an exercise where I like to teach my students when you block, boom, 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 block, boom, 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 block. You can do it with sticks. They sell these boxing sticks nowadays. I bought a pair a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago, where you can come boom boom. You can come chudan, you can come on the ribs, and you can come to the head. You can come to the ribs, to the head, to the ribs. You do some, for example, some shadow boxing with punches, boom 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 boom, and then when the stick is going, boom, you block. You do your shadow boxing, boom boom block. You do twice, 3 times maximum. You go shadow, boom, 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 boom. You can do it with your arms. So even if you don't have sticks, the partner can do this. It does like it was. It does this like it was throwing legs, and then boom, 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 boom. It throws an arm, and then you can do it with the actual kicks, actual legs. So the partner is a bit further from you. You can even do it without to really focus only on the move. Boom, 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 boom. It throws a leg. Boom. It throws a leg. Boom. It's really like a slap. It doesn't have to throw legs. Boom like this, but really more like boom, quick and relaxed, so you can really boom work on boom blocking your kick. So I hope it helps you. um, as the fight starts, what should I do first, kick or punches? This is really the kind of question there's no magical answers to. uh, if you want, if you think that you have an advantage on your opponent, you can go with punches and take the lead, take the lead physically. If you want to take your time, one fight is different from another. So if you want to take your time and you see someone that is coming all confident, you can use your maigeri to keep him far from you. You can use your front kicks to keep him far from you, or low kicks to maybe try to disrupt as soon as he's walking, and you boom crush him while he's walking. Maybe you have an advantage, and then you can go with punches. But there's no like a, a good answer to this. Really depends on your opponent, how he will act as soon as the ref says ajime, and how you anticipate that the fight is going. If you maybe are taller than him, yeah, you can keep distance with him. If you are if you see that maybe is thinner than you, then why not go with punches and put pressure on him without getting too tired. What is your opinion on IKO's new rule sets related to head kicks? IKO, sometimes I don't understand where they want to go. I know they want to how to be different. They really want to be the exception amongst Kyokushin, and I feel like they are going to become like Shotokan. Like you put one. I saw that now. If you correct me if I'm wrong, but if you sweep someone and then they like mark the point, they give them a wazari, but making someone fall doesn't doesn't impeach them to work. A head kick will impede him to work a solar plexus kick. And the head kick, if it's not, I fought several times and touched some of my opponents with head kicks that didn't have any effect on them. I don't see why I should have a point. The guy was like boom, but coming back directly. There was not like this. It was not looking at birds, or I don't know, thinking that Superman was going up the sky. So I don't know why I should get a point. So if the head kicks doesn't, and they decided to, yeah, like boom, uh, like in Shotokan, I find it so ridiculous. It's my personal opinion on Shotokan. They have these rule set. We have a complete different one. Maybe they will say we're ridiculous because we don't use a fist to the head. It's their right, and I would say it's ridiculous, but not in a demeaning way. I'm just saying it's not because it's not my thing. The ah, and they will do it. You see that this is really the opposite of Kyokushin, and IKO says, okay, let's do this with head kicks. Boom, a slap is okay. See the ref? See? Hey, refs, I scored a point. Hey, guys, come on. Lift the damn flag. I'm like, no, not for me. So maybe these people should stay in their corner. So, okay, just pretend they don't exist. How do you train knees to the head during sparring? I always was nice in sparring, and my Jordan is like not effective because I did not used to it. I was not used to it. My bad. Um, I do tend to try and work on Hisageri to the head now in sparring. I just really am super careful to do it without going for the actual end of the movement. So sometimes I will go sparring, ba 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 bam, boom. I will not do the last part where I'm supposed to. I'm just doing the jump. So sometimes in some movements can be performed with absolute control in sparring, but you should try to really regulate the way you do it so you don't do the last part. For example, I like to do Mawashi Kite and Geri 2 in combat. I will wait for the person to like being going backwards, almost running backwards to do it, or I will do it when I'm sure that their hands are up here. So when he sees it and do it slow enough, so when he sees it, he's able to block it. So sometimes don't be afraid to do something. Just make sure that you keep enough back to be sure that you won't injure the person in front of you. But other than that, you can work some. For example, you can work with a heavy bag. Why not going ba 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 bam on a pad, on a power. We call that power in French. I don't know how in English it's called. It's a cushion or we go ba 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 bam, and the partner puts the bag here, knee, ba 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 bam. You simulate the sparring. Sometimes it's good to have movements that are really hard to do in combat. You just will simulate them in sparring. You will really simulate the sparring. So bab or simply even without bag, you're here working low kicks, punches, low kick punches. The partner is just taking hits, and he expects this technique. You tell yourselves, both of you, that we're going to work on this technique. Once we do small sparring, boom, knee, and the other one, he knows the knee is coming, so he can block it easily. Okay, we jump to the technique part quite well, because all of you were asking me how to train technique, how to train some techniques. It's really harder to show you guys how to perform some techniques as I have my ass on the chair, but as you know, you will have YouTube videos on so many other things in the future. I unfortunately don't have the possibility to release once a month because of the content I already have in my possession, and because it really takes much time. So I still keeping my pace of one video out of 2 weeks. But so many much more is coming. I've prepared videos on don't say a word, but Mawashi Kite and Geri. I'll have how to perform roundhouse kicks, Shiro Mawashi, uh, Teisoku Soto Mawashi for those who don't have a good flexibility, where I even tell you things how to improve your flexibility overall. We all have a limited flexibility according to our body, so that's it. I wanted to talk about technique, how you can improve your techniques through, and that will be the last part for today. Maybe 15 minutes or so. Uh, as you know, we do martial arts. We do Kyokushin karate. So in Kyokushin, there's karate. So all this part should be really a main focus. In my opinion, depending on your goals, depending on your age, depending on your situation right now, as I am doing competition, I'd say that Kyokushin must be 30% techniques, Kion Kata, and 70% combat. Because in combat, I incorporate also physical training, cardio, uh, muscle building muscle. So this is really important to work on these aspects if you want to go in training. Even if you're grading for a belt, you will need the physical condition to sustain. I don't know how many sparrings. Sometimes they say, we will do 10 sparring for black belt, but you have 50 sparrings just before that, and sometimes they will put one more to say, come on, you're still on your feet, so once or twice. One or two more sparring, so 2 more rounds. So you need that physical condition. But through Kion and Kata, we can really improve our technique. We can really improve our fighting techniques, our fighting skills. We have to work. The more you evolve, the more you improve yourself, the more you grade, the more you have to be aware of what you can work through Kihon. I guess I don't do the same Tsuki today that I did, I don't know, 10 years ago, because I'm now more conscious about everything that is implied through for a single movement. For example, I will take I will take an example. For you will work on ich ni oitsuki 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 oitsuki, but other than the drawing of the movement, I often compare that the a move executed as a drawing. I will do it Jodan, so like that, you see, yeah, center, that's good. Ich me, other than having my two knuckles well aligned, having my elbow facing the ground to have really this straight line. What can I work when I do Kion? I can work on my breath. I can work on contracting my side abs, which are really of the utmost important. We maybe we don't talk enough about it in Kyokushin, but know that that is something you really should pay attention to if you want to improve your techniques. Forces come from the ground, from the feet, when you want to execute a rotation or make give a punch power. You will use your feet. You will make a rotation. The energy will flow through your core. That's why having a core is a solid core and abs is important, and then be transferred through the rest of the body. It's really like this flow, and it goes right through your target. That's why someone, for example, hitting. I will show you that, guy. I will show you guys that with an actual example. I think it's better. Okay. You don't see my feet, but it's okay. Just the feet are the most important here, so I will make it like that. If I want to, for example, strike with my right hand, if I do this and don't move my foot, there will be a big difference from when I do this. It doesn't look it doesn't look like much, but actually using my foot, turning my foot, will give me the possibility to have more energy to transfer from the lower part of my body through my core and finally through my fist. So if I want to make someone suffer, and if I do this, we often talk about hips. We'll come back with that maybe in another podcast in the future. But when we come to the hips, we often talk about hips. But here, see, my hip is blocked. But if I turn my foot, I go far, and maybe in a fight I won't go. I won't always go that far. But I still have a bit more range first, but also more energy. And this doesn't look like much. See, I have only like couple of inches more, but in terms of power, it does big difference. So okay, and back on my chair. Sorry, I have my legs hurting because I had national training with the elite training with national Kyokushin team yesterday. So I'm like tired. If you guys have questions about techniques or maybe how to perform them better, how to use Kion and Kata in order to get better in combat, we can discuss that for the maybe 10 minutes remaining. If you have maybe other questions about Kyokushin, or I don't know how to if you, just ask questions. If you have questions, I'm here to answer them. So feel free to ask me while we're here, and we'll try to end this live in 10 minutes tops. Mm. Good question. How much do you estimate the importance of traditional karate kihon in real sparring? That's I'd say it really the more you grade and the more you realize how much it is important to have this step beyond, to go a step beyond in terms of technicality. If you want to improve your technique, it will go through Kion, something that not that other disciplines don't do. I often say to people, we're the only disciplines that stands between martial arts and combat sports. In Muay Thai, they do also like a sort of a Kihon and Kata, but they don't have this work that we do. They don't have this precision work. We go way beyond in terms of precisions. But in the same time, we apply this Kion to the real fight. That's what I tell my students. They should really focus on this and not be all like this in kata and Kion. Some, of course, they don't. Some of them still don't understand that, but it will come. So I'd say it's 20%, 20 to 30% of your capacities, your fighting capacities. If you don't train them, you often see people who don't train them because they don't have a good drawing of their movement. Champions, great champions such as Valery Dimitrov, or any one of them, I'm pretty sure that they're good in kata. It cannot be otherwise, because they have this way of training. They have this way of fighting. Sorry, this way of fighting. This their movements. It just shows that they did their kata and kion very good. Maybe they're not master. They're not kata masters in terms of if they were going in championship, but really they have this. They have this finesse, this technicality that makes them different. And We often talk about physical and stuff, but maybe what makes a champion is that he has this technique more advanced than the guy who will have the same cardio, the same muscle, the same will, but maybe the champion will have a technique that no one else masters but him. Like Valery Dimitrov, he has like this Kakatsoto Kakato. Lechi Kurbanov, he has these roundhouses. He put like 60 people to sleep with this. So really, but he has to go through Kion. He has to go through Ido Geiko. I like to do fight Ido Geiko sometimes in the wind. Boom, 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 and really focus on each movement. We don't have we don't have someone in front of us, so we have the ability to focus only on it. Kata should be performed the same way. Kata, it's always the same path, always the same movement. We should be really conscious of every move, conscious that we do a Gedanbarai and have this like boom, this my arm has to stop over here, not there, not there, not there. My abs have to be tensed at that precise moment. I have to breathe. Okay, so really, Kihon and Kata play a huge part in the way you will evolve in Kyokushin and in by extension real combat. I will answer the Breman Foods question. When a player is making distance and wasting my time, and as I try to go near him, he just start punching and kicking without even watching like mad. How can I handle him? Yeah, people, especially beginners, when they go in competition, they tend to do that. Sometimes people that don't work on technique, and you see it. Sometimes you have brown belts or green belts going like that, bah, 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 kicking like not watching. This should become easy over time for you to handle, because it will get tired. Like I say, if it goes too hard and too fast, it will get tired. So really focus on being able to move, rotate, block. I know blocking. I know many people don't teach blocking sometimes in combat. I do that a lot. It doesn't. It's not magical, but someone who's boom boom boom. If you block, boom 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 boom. Maybe a third, a quarter, 20% of their hits, they will get lost because all they have is basic hits. Boom, 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 boom. So it's boom, 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 boom. You give one back. Boom. You block. You take hits. You block. You give back. You play with them. It's like in automatic mode. It's like a program set to destroy you, but only if you stay in front of him and you enter his game. You do the exact same. If you try to move, so sometimes in sparring, focus on one partner that is like a tank. If you have a situation that you're facing in combat, sometimes ask a partner to reproduce the situation in sparring, so you can be maybe with less speed, with a less slower pace. Ask him to do this as you faced in combat, so you're able to block, so you're able to move, so you're able to do everything and counter. Also counter attack. You have to work on your eye to ba 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 boom, ba 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 boom, ba 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 ba. I take hits, boom. I want the quick shot. I don't want power like him. I want boom, the quick shot, the quick body shot. I want boom, the quick low kick. I want the maigiri. I want boom boom the knee. So try to work on situations that really put you uncomfortable in combat in the dojo to try and handle him. Try to work on blocking and try to work on moving. How much do you estimate the importance of traditional karate? As I insert that, people sometimes are moving so far away from sometimes the movement seems so far away from actual combat. Yeah, some movements will definitely be out of our league for combat sport. A Jadanuke won't serve really in the street. They say you block a knife like this. I see a knife, I go away. Sometimes they say, yeah, Jadanuke cannot work in or maybe against the Kakatogeri, but you see, it's not really a Jadanuke like this. But some movements will work only with situations that are not likely to happen. We still have to train them because it's part of the technical part. It's part of the technical part, and we can work on the basic aspect that I told you about. So if you do Jodanuke, you won't use it, but it can help you to lift up your guard if you in a fight. It can help you contract your abs. It can help you work on your body rotation. So sometimes even if something won't serve you in real situations, you can always take something from it. So always keep that in mind. Um, with the technique and the Mawashi Kaiten, I just wanted to know how to perform a Jodan Mawashi and the Mawashi Kaiten. This will come in future videos, Trizikio, so don't worry, I've got all that prepared, but with my actual pace. I don't know when I will release it, but I will release it at some point. Also, what advice could you give to learn kata and kion better and memorize it? To memorize kion, what I often say, I never learned kion because when my sensei told something, I was already just after 1 second repeating in my head. So if he said Jordan is up, Jordan is head level, up level, I was like Jordan up, Jordan up, Jordan up. I'm putting it in my head, like hammering my head with it. Jordan, Jordan. But now you have syllabus. You have these syllabus that are done to learn Kion with the terms, the writing, and really their translation in Japanese. So really try and go like that when you hear term. Sometimes just interrupt kindly your sensei to ask, okay, this term, what does it mean? Because I guess no sensei will ever be mad at you for asking a question that will help all the students, because we know our stuff. Sometimes we don't think about, yeah, I haven't taught them, sorry, this kind of stuff. So you just ask your sensei what it is, or during a break, and put it in your mind, put it in your mind, put it in your mind, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Learning in life, after you're 7 years old. Before, it's another kind of learning. After 7 years old, you almost only learn through repetition. So it's like you were in school. I repeat, I repeat, I repeat. Okay, it's in my mind. Boom, and I will never forget it. Of course, once is not enough, but you have to do it on a weekly, I don't know, monthly basis. Anything that suits you. Uh, I would take maybe one last questions about techniques or any other topic before closing the live. I want to thank you guys. We were like around 5 or 6 or 7 people from time to time to be there. So I hope this podcast can really expand. If you have other subjects for the future that you want me to talk about, I will try to make a small preparation for it. So don't hesitate to share the idea that I do a podcast, and if you want to listen with some other people, and tell your friends or people you train with that I have a podcast, and give me ideas. I will gladly take anything you can advise me on. So thank you for being here. Before. Should we look in the eyes of our opponent while fighting, or at the body, or it doesn't matter? Oh, this is a good question. I often tell my students in Kyokushin, you want to look at the body, you want to look at the center of the body. Why? Because you don't have punches to the head. You don't have punches to the head, so you don't need to look in the eyes as you will in boxing. Because in boxing, you will look in the eye to anticipate what it will do, because 80% of the hits, if it's boxing, it will only hit the head. If it's Muay Thai, if it will hit the head and the legs, but the head is the most important that you have to protect, because once you're down here, you're down. So in boxing and Muay Thai, you will look at the head to work on your guard, protect, dodge. You see, it goes like that. They're like this. They measuring the distance. They're measuring the distance always. In Kyokushin, our proximity, our distance doesn't require us to look in the opponent's eye. So looking up in boxing, in Muay Thai rather, because they don't use leg in boxing. In Muay Thai, it has that like this disadvantage that you don't have a peripheral or peripheral. I will check after. Your side vision won't be able to see what's going down there. In Kyokushin, when you look at the center of the body, you have a full vision of everything that's going to happen. You can block, punch, 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 kick, punch, kick, take hit, boom, 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 boom. So it's really more useful for us to use um, to look at the center of the body, exactly the center of the body, the sternum or diaphragm. Sorry if my English sometimes is a bit ipsy because English isn't my mother tongue. I try to do my best, but I speak French and I only speak English once in a while, so maybe now I have more time to practice. So really, in Kyokushin, I would advise only looking to the center of the body is the best solution to really have a global vision. Peripheral, that's it. Okay, many legendary players look at the eyes. I know, and it can be really about preferences. Maybe they will take low kicks really good. Maybe they have a larger vision. I don't know how to explain it. I know that when I look in the eyes, I'm focused also on what's going on with the opponent, and I won't see a low kick as quick as I will see it if I look at the chest of the opponent. So it can really also be about preferences, but I'd say that it has more advantages. Maybe these champions are way used to it because some champions do kickboxing and maybe they have a different eye. I did some Muay Thai, I did some MMA, and looking at the eyes of the opponent works to dodge the punches because most of the time maybe he will throw like 9 punches for one kick or something like that, especially you have longer distances. But in Kyokushin you're always at close distance, so looking at someone that is so close to you but you are going to maybe you are going to miss a kick and take it bad is a disadvantage for me. So it depends on how you fight, distance that you prefer. But sometimes, I mean, 50% of the time, the fight will happen here. In boxing, in kickboxing, in Muay Thai, in MMA, the fight would stay longer for a longer time, further for a longer time, if you know what I mean. Okay, we're down to 1 hour and more than a half on this live. So again, I want to thank you guys for being there. We're like 4 or 5. It's a start, so that's really okay for me. I hope that you learn things today. I will try to do a podcast maybe once a month. It's not that much, but with the YouTube videos, Instagram to handle, I and the subjects won't come up like that, so I have to think about it. I want something that would be a little bit prepared. We had the occasion to talk about really different kind of stuff today, so I'm really happy. I hope you really learn things that you're going to be able to apply quite soon, I hope. Again, thank you for being there. Don't hesitate to tell your friends to join my Instagram, my YouTube channel. YouTube is really the most important for me right now. It really takes me much time to do a YouTube video, and we're going to do a little test before we quit. Write down in the comments how long do you think I have to take for to edit and film a YouTube video that takes 2 minutes on YouTube. Tell me how many minutes, how many hours you think I put for a single YouTube video. I will wait for your answers and then I can call it a day. Okay, I have PL Peter. Yeah, you have to tell me your name. Tu dois me dire ton nom parce que si je le prononce comme ça, j'arriverai pas. Comme ça, je suis sûr. Mais we have someone saying 12 hours. That's actually about something like that. That's almost right. It can be more. So sometimes I did a video on 2 days or 3 days with all the small details that I add, cutting, all that takes around 12 hours, and to record, it's also another part. It can take like up to maybe 1 hour for a video, a single video. Sometimes I do 3 videos in a row. So I take 2 hours for 3 videos, with from the time to change myself, to set the camera, to light up the lights. It can take like 2 or 3 hours on the set, and then come back and have like 12 hours, around 12 hours, or maybe sometimes 14, 15, 16, if I want it to be perfect. Also the uploading part, that can take some time because I do all the subs by myself. Donc voilà, Tony, merci, merci à toi pour cette réponse. À mon avis, tu es celui qui sera le plus proche. No, at least 10 hours is normally, I'd say it's a bit more because of all the works I put at the end, with the details, the small animations, and stuff. So 10 hours would be, if I didn't put the extra stuff that I think give a more professional look to the videos. But we're past 10 hours. We're at least at 12, or 14 easy. So I will close the live now. So again, thank you guys for watching this live with me. I hope you really had a great time. I hope we can make this podcast something big in Kyokushin. I don't think many people do that. So really, if this is something that you haven't heard before, if you're happy with it, I will try to keep it coming. Like I said, at least once a month. So maybe we'll on May the 12th. Maybe middle of next month, I will try to have another one with other topics. I plan to do also, if you tell me if you like this idea, maybe to do review of fights. It can be my fights, it can be your fights, it can be fights of champions. But it'd be great to not only being in the discussion, and you ask me a question. It can be great to watch Kyokushin together and actually learn from it by seeing it directly, or really being in the commenting fights, and seeing what we can learn about it, what we can really take from it to improve ourselves. So I'll see you guys in a future podcast. And again, thank you for the support, and for watching me. See you in the next. Have a good Sunday.